So the last thing I think I showed was putting all the bell housing bolts in, so those are all done. And then one thing I maybe forgot to mention is if you look up there, you can see there's a little bracket that holds the fuel lines, I believe. And anyway, that goes through one of the bell housing bolts, which I don't think you can actually... Oh, you can see my socket still chilling up there. Grab that. Almost gave one away. Anyway, so I'll get that later. But point is, get that bracket on there, then speed sensor 1, then this harness is for the neutral switch, then here's the shifter. There's a little bracket that I have to put on as well. I'll do that here in a minute, and then I got this placed on there. I just gotta get that little nut on there, and then the rear speed sensor, and then this guy and this guy are your two rear O2 sensors, so I'll get those later. And then the main electronic connection, I can't really see it very good, but it's right here. And then I already did connect this guy and the other transmission cooler lines, and they cruise up through here. You can see the pair of them, and they go past here and they end up front here. This is under the crank. There's the crank right there. And basically I was hoping that it would be long enough to cut them back here, but actually those fittings might be kind of close to these belts, so I think I'm just gonna leave this little flex joint piece and then cut them both. Whoops, I can get the right spot. Cut them both like right here, you know, virtually underneath the radiator. So here's the two lines, those two hydraulic lines, and then this one and this one. I'm gonna cut and splice those in. This guy's just in the way right now. So anyway, I think that's enough for tonight, and I'm gonna go get some sleep. Well, I went home and got a little sleep, and now I'm back next night. I got the cross member up in there, so basically you can see it's not tight right just yet, but there's like a captive bolt here, and then one and another there. So those were left. You can see, maybe if I can get in there, they have like little spacers in there. So then, yep, there's 3 bolts here. Same deal over here, 3 bolts. Again, captive like that, loose. Then there's the 2 cross members bolts I gotta put in. Right there is the 2 bolts that hold the mount, this part right here, hold the mount to the transmission. So I got that. This was left on, that's the exhaust mount. What else? I put the right here, this little bracket right there. Put that back on, that holds the shifter cable. So that goes through there like that. And then you pull this tight, which I'm not to that point yet. That's how that goes on there. And then eventually I'll put the neutral safety switch back on this peg as well. Haven't got there yet. What else? Put the starter back in. There's a picture of it. And basically how that is wired in is you have the smaller wire goes right here to that smaller post. The short guy is the positive. You can see like little red traces right there. Goes here, and then your ground goes here, and that's like a double. There it is, like a double. It's a like a bolt with a stud hanging out. So those are probably some of the worst bolts to do, just because there's not a lot of room in here. So getting that sorted is kind of a combination of extensions, and I would say buy the place out of extensions and swivels, because that's just what you're dealing with there. So got the starter back up, and then here is the inspection plate. This is a factory bolt, but then this guy is kind of a stupid thing that I did, or not stupid, but basically how this works is I don't have the tool to hold. There's like, they make like this goofy little tool that holds the torque converters. So like when you're doing like a front pulley or something like that, it'll hold the crank basically. So what I do is I actually just take this bolt out, put the nut on the back side, and like jam it up on the back here, and that gives it like extra support. And then I actually take a wrench and just put one of the closed end of the wrench on the torque converter nut, and then the open end just kind of like clamps, or like goes like this on the inside. So when the engine's cranking this way, you know, if you're on the crankshaft, you'd be tightening it. You actually push the wrench in compression, and so that keeps it from moving. I looked up this torque converter brand. I didn't know the blue ones. That's like Precision of New Hampton, and that's New Hampton, Iowa. So that's kind of cool. That's, you know, somewhat local to me. So not too far away, Midwest at least. So, and then a nice drain plug on the bottom. That's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna tighten up this cross member really quick and make sure these goofy heat shields are all bent correctly, because right now they aren't, and get that all sorted. And then I'm probably gonna do my drive shaft loop here shortly, and the exhaust, and just kind of keep working. So anyway, this is kind of boring stuff, but I don't know, maybe it'll help you when you're taking yours out. Maybe you'll see it coming. Don't get yourself pinched up. So probably exhaust will be some of the next work I do. I noticed, like, a big fan of these ARP bolts right here for the headers. Way easier than studs, but looks like I didn't tighten one of them, come back and tighten it, because it's gone. So that's cool. I guess I'll be buying a set of 5 for 1 bolt. So neat. But anyway, that's where we're at. Okay, so I'm back onto the truck here, and I have my neutral safety switch right here. So basically this tells the truck that it's actually in park or neutral, so it can start. So there is the shifter input. So this could be any old place, whatever. But the back of the truck, there you can see the back of the truck. If it's pointed all the way to the back, right there, that's park. And the reason I know that's park is because I put my drive shaft in here. And if I go and switch this to something other than park, that would be neutral right there. I can take this and spin it. Okay? Obviously, if it was in park, it wouldn't be able to do that. So, smacking my head here. So if I go to park, which is all the way to the back, you know, tipped all the way to the back, then I go back here, and this would work on any automatic vehicle. I go and I hit this, and did you hear that click? That was the transmission locking into park. So now it's all locked up. So I know that's park. And the Prindle PRNDL, you know, layout would be, if that's park, then I screwed it up. If all the way back is park, then 1 click is reverse, 1 more click is neutral. Okay? So now I'm going to leave that in neutral, because on my switch that I just dropped, you can see on this side there's that neutral mark, and you can see those lines are not quite exactly in line. And then also you can see right there and right there, those 2 square kind of holes, that's where the bolts go. So they have like a little place so you can kind of key this back and forth. And so what you want to do is go up here and stick this guy. It has like two little, you can see those two little pegs on the inside. Those actually match up with those two keyways on the deal, on the shaft. So then you want to rotate this. See how those lines right there are lined up? That's not lined up, that's lined up. So you want to get those lined up. And now I can go and put my bolts in and lock that into position, and that should be right for lining up the neutral switch. So that was probably one of the worst videos I've ever taken, but I think it'll at least cover the basics there. So the point is, you want to shift it all the way back to park. 2 clicks forward is neutral, and then line up those marks and then tighten it down. So we'll do that now. Went to go hook up my shifter cable, and those little barbs, you can see that kind of like rusty spot, like right there. Those actually, like, basically, can't get my phone in there, but those open up and they're like little barbs. Anyway, they're kind of, I don't know, kind of old, kind of worn out, and they just weren't holding open. So I kind of pried them open, and I was just worried they, it gets hot down here, so I was worried they were gonna break. So what I did is I put it up there, and then I just threaded a zip tie around behind. You can see kind of how it got like behind those barbs like that, and that should hold that thing in there and hold those barbs from collapsing. And then of course next time if I ever have to take this out again, I'll just nip that zip tie and pull it out, and the barbs should collapse pretty easy. So it's kind of like a little double lock thing that we got going on, just to kind of make sure that doesn't pull out, because that would really suck, having to crawl under this truck because it wouldn't go into drive or whatever because that cable popped out. So anyway, I'm going to put this end on and keep going. Alright, well, I just got finished putting that video together. It turned out kind of long on the transmission removal video, or actually it's installation video. The removal footage wasn't very good, so I didn't bother finishing that off, but from the install you can understand how you take it out. So things that weren't in there, that's a 2400 RPM stall. That's what A1 recommended that I do. And then basically I just stopped off at this point, because if putting your exhaust back in and putting your drive shaft back in, that's kind of easy stuff. So anyway, I hope it helps somebody. Kind of a long video, but that's just the way they go sometimes. So anyway, hopefully I'll have a little run with the truck here to show how it works, which is at this point really good. It's kind of a monster. It'll chirp with drag radials. It'll chirp first and second, and the 2-3 shift too even. So it's pretty brutal, but that's good. That's the way I like it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Long video. Be sure to throw a like or subscribe if you like the lightning content. Thanks.